with Kutch time of the day is December 12th, 2025. The Detroit Pistons just beat the Atlanta Hawks 142 to 115. After 5 days of rest and getting the whole rotation healthy, the Pistons dominated Atlanta. They won all four quarters. First and fourth were only by two, but the second and third were absolute domination from both ends of the court. The Pistons, everyone that played more than 5 minutes had a positive plus minus. That's insane. The only two players that didn't have a positive plus minus were Paul Reed and Marcus Sasser because they came in the garbage of garbage times. It was already done with about basically the whole fourth quarter, but they come in the very last 4.5 minutes. And so what? They get outscored by like 4 points. It was a dominant one by the Pistons, and they moved to 20-5 on the season. There was so much good today from so many players. Isaiah Stewart has really been good scoring wise. During the stretch, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Really just do it all. I mean, obviously we know him as this great defensive anchor, and he can do so much. But he's really come alive with scoring and something that you never really expected. He had a nice start of the season, and then he kind of slowed down a little bit. But the last week or so, he's really stepped it back up. Cade, 15 rebounds, 15 points. I meant 6 assists and two steals, 2 blocks. And again, Cade just he only played I think about 22 minutes tonight. He really gives him the rest even after having so much rest. Why risk him getting injured when you don't need to? It was such a one-sided game after the first quarter that he didn't really need to play. Um, and even in the few minutes he did get, he was great, like he always is. He skated good. Duncan Robinson, 15 points, 4 threes. Again, the when Duncan Robinson is playing, the shooting is 1,000 times better, and it's not just because Duncan is healthy and Duncan can make shots, and he is the best 3-point shooter, but it's also the spacing he adds and the pressure he adds on the other team's defense that they need to guard him. Sometimes need at least one guy basically out the whole time because he's gonna run around and get open threes. It's just kind of how he is. He's one of the amazing off-ball players in the entire league in 3-point shooters. Jalen Duren again didn't play that much. Didn't do two 14 points, 7 rebounds. Kind of what do you expect? That's like last year's averages, even less than last year's averages, but it's just because he didn't play that much. Uh, Sorry Thompson, he's gonna do it all. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, you can't ask much more. Karis LeVert, even at 10 points and 8 assists. Ron Holland has put together a nice last couple weeks of games. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and Ron Holland and Isaiah Stewart were the real catalyst of making it a blowout game. They were the guys who at the end of the first and the beginning of the second got this run. It was like a 10-2, 12-3 run, something like that. That ultimately the Pistons kept that lead that they built and built on that lead. But it was because of Isaiah Stewart and Ron Holland's defensive intensity, pushing the ball, making sure there are no gaps on defense, and if there are, the offense is going to get crushed basically. And because it was such a big blowout, Jaden Ivey was able to get a lot more minutes than he has. He was a season high, 18 and a half minutes. He gets 10 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. Doesn't make a three today, but he's shown his threes in the past in the limited minutes. And it's just good to see him, especially in this blowouts kind of game, just getting him minutes, getting him like point guard style minutes. Because going into the season, Jaden Ivey was kind of projected to be like uh the bench ball handler. Like basically he would start, go off first subs, then once Cade comes off, Jaden Ivey is basically is the point guard. We ran a bit last year, and then we try to get back to that. I don't know if we do that now, um, just because of how good Daniel Jenkins has been. I don't know if Duncan Robinson can be taken on the starting lineup. He's so important spacing wise and shooting wise that he's too detrimental to the starting lineup right now. And it just works so well with him. But Jaden Ivey has shown that he's still a very good player. He shows flashes, he shows scoring, he shows playmaking. He's gotten better defensively. And I think a main problem with Ivy is she's trying to get going. Like he's jittery when he gets in. Um, he's hopping around. He's doing a little bit too much. I mean, while he can make plays, he can make turnovers. And the only turnover of the whole night was, I think, in the base of his first minute to 2 minutes of playing. He got a steal, but then he pushed it too fast and lost his dribble, and it became a turnover. And then he settled down after that. I mean, if Ivy can just settle down right away, and just get to the groove that he can be instead of being a little bit sporadic to start, he will have a lot more chances to play extended minutes, not have to be taken out early into a run. And Ivy, I don't know if he'll be on this team for the whole season, but I hope he will be because he's a very good player. I mean, he drafted him fifth overall. Was oh my God, 4 years now. Um, and just he's showing flashes and he's working back from the injury, and day by day he's getting better and he's showing that he should be and can be a part of this team. Um, the bad there wasn't one. I don't. There was no glaring issue tonight. There wasn't a turnover issue. There wasn't a defensive issue. There wasn't a shooting issue. This was probably the most complete game I've seen from the Pistons this whole season, and it shows in the box score. That's why you score 140 points and win almost by 30. You basically win by 30. It's just near the end you kind of don't really care as much. Um, Now the rumor of the week, and I've talked about this before, is Anthony Davis rumor coming to the Pistons. I don't think that should happen. And there's two big glaring don't touch this guy problems with Anthony Davis. The first one is his injuries. His legs are glass. He can't stay healthy. I don't think he's had a fully healthy season. That's like 2023, 2022. But even in his prime, he had struggled staying healthy. He's probably only had like 3 or 4 healthy seasons in his entire career. But especially as of late, he cannot stay healthy for a full season, let alone be 100% for a playoff run like the Pistons are trying to go on. And it's tough. I mean, Anthony Davis is a good player, but I don't know. I just don't trust him to stay healthy, especially with how physical the Pistons are. I don't think he's gonna fit the scheme because if Anthony Davis tries to play physical, he's going to get hurt. Um, and I don't think there's a way of avoiding it. It's not his fault. It's just how he's built now. And his array of injuries that he's had in his career has made him a fragile guy. And the second biggest issue is his contract. I don't- you want to pay AD almost 50 mil for 2 more years after this season? I don't. That's a terrible contract. Again, with the injuries, if Anthony Davis gets a terrible injury and becomes even worse than he is now, what are you doing? Um, and yes, Anthony Davis is a very good scorer, but I don't know, like on the defensive end, at this point, this may be controversial, but at this point, I don't think it is. I think Stewart's a better defender than Anthony Davis is. Obviously, you go prime for prime, AD was better and probably his prime season defensively in 2020. But right now, in this current season, Isaiah Stewart's the better rim protector and better interior defender than Anthony Davis is. And it's just because of all of the injuries Anthony Davis faces. And that Isaiah Stewart has become one of the lead rim defenders in the entire league. So there's no need for Anthony Davis on this team. Like what are you gonna do? And if you trade him, it's gonna be I see Mavericks fans want it like Tobias, Ivy, and a couple first. I think you go in, you say if Anthony Davis does get traded us, it's like Tobias, Karras, maybe a first. I don't know how much value AD has. He's injury prone and his contract's terrible. I feel like we're getting to a point, and Anthony Davis wants out. The more and more Anthony Davis plays, the more and more he becomes a liability, and the more the Mavericks will likely have to pay to remove him than to get more in return. So, do the Mavericks sell? How low are they going to sell? before they basically have to buy his way out. So I, I don't I don't think we should trade for AD. Um, it's just he has way too many issues contractually, um, injury wise, health wise. That he's just not going to be good for the team, and he won't. He can't help in the games he plays. Yes, still a good player, but I don't see a need that he fills. The big uh, thing that AD could have done was be a good stretch big. But AD's shot hasn't been falling this year. He's not been great again. His play has declined, and a lot due to injuries. He just hasn't been able to play as much. The condition is down. So Anthony Davis should not be chasing the Pistons. Um, and there was all these reports coming out that we were in talks, but then Detroit Free Press reporter Amari Sankofa came out and said that's not happening. There are no discussions happening, or at least serious discussions happening between the Pistons and Mavericks, and I'm glad. Um, so the next game is Monday night against the Pistons. It is a revenge game, I'd say. Pistons ended the 13 game win streak. They were the potential 14 game to get the franchise record. They lose the Celtics in a very close game. So the Pistons will have a little bit of chip on their shoulder to get this win and get the 21st win of the NBA season. And hopefully they will. Thanks.